Hello, welcome. We'll wait for some viewers to tune in here. So while we're doing that, Liliana, I'll uh,
Great.
I'll get I'll get everything going here and shared to your page, and then we'll get this show on the road. Ooh, we already got 3 people tuning in. Welcome, guys. We'll get everything started in just a second. Hang tight. We got a phenomenal show for you. So
Hi,
hang
darling. I
tight
was
here.
able to see it because I was sharing. That's my friend. We're going to work on an amazing project together. We are just gathering everything. She's watching. Her name is Gudrun, but I can never pronounce how to say it because I saw we call her Christine for now. Can you see her?
All right. Let's see. We
I miss
are
you.
live. And there, I just tagged, posted on your timeline, your feed. So we are all good to
Sharing.
go. I got you there. Yeah. Gudrun,
It's so
Christine, Fritz.
you know.
Can you see now the names and people popping up and everything? Or you just know she's
No,
tuning in?
no, I know because I share on my timeline, and when I share, I'm able to see. But now I'm back to your room again. So
I got you. Oh, looks like we got Adam Duvall's tuning in. Welcome, brother. We got Diana Fernandez. Always love
hey,
having you on here. So we've got a couple new faces and we got some familiar ones. So let's get the show started. We got a few people on and we'll get going with it. Welcome everybody and thanks for tuning in today on Reality Practice Live Q&A with Liliana Da Cruz and myself, Joey Kramer. We get to welcome the beautiful and wonderful Liliana back to the show this week. She was off on her own journey last week of inspiration, of self-development, kind of getting grounded and re-inspired with what it is you're doing. So you want to share any of that experience from last week before we really dive into the show?
I can't share what's going on deep in the event, but I just want to say that if you have not so discovered your potential, it's an opportunity to find out. Just reach out, and I put in touch with the people that are helping to do that. But that's aside because that's a property group that we develop into. They are more going through towards the spiritual side of things. But today's show is about gratitude, and guess what? Everything is so in synchrony that I bought this deck of cards from the event. I bought them, and they all to do with gratitude and raise your vibration. Can you see it?
And
It's a,
let everybody know we didn't have we didn't know the topic of the show earlier
no,
30 minutes ago. I haven't spoken to you, you haven't spoken to me.
no,
You
no.
texted over, hey, what are we going to talk about today? And I said, why don't we talk about gratitude? Because I've really had to refocus on this over the past week, and I'll be vulnerable with everybody on today's show. But yeah, I wanted to talk about gratitude and kind of that understanding of everything has to happen to us for a reason, a purpose, a lesson to be learned. And we struggle with this. I feel like we get caught up in the when is it going to happen, or why isn't it happening faster, or why isn't it happening according to the plan I envisioned. We all have these visions, we all have these ideas that we manifest, this that we want to create this beautiful thing, or we want to create the abundance, the life we truly desire. And for a lot of us, I think we get caught up in that timing of it, and we get caught up in kicking ourselves when we're down. Things don't always go according to our plan. They have to go according to the universe's plan, and kind of to the plan of spirit. We're playing our part, we're playing our role here, and I believe we do 100% get to write this story any which way we want to. But I think there's a huge disconnect in how we create this reality, how we create our desires into our reality. And the roadblock comes from our own struggle of wanting it faster or wanting it on our terms. And I think that's a huge issue that we all face is we have to come to that realization that, one, we have to surrender and we have to allow things to happen on the collective on the universal terms, not, we can't force our will through, I guess. And what I've found, uh, and I always go back to when I get kind of caught up in this, uh, kind of self doubt and kicking myself or thinking things should have been a different way, I always go back to gratitude. I always go back to remembering that everything has always happened exactly the way it was supposed to happen. And that if I'm not achieving, if I'm not seeing the results that I expected or wanted, then I really have to go within and I have to ask the tough questions. Why is it not coming to me? What am I missing? What is it something super simple that I'm just not doing? Therefore, I'm having to repeat the same process over in a different way. What is it about that? And I believe gratitude is one of those keys that can help us unlock this, because once we heal and once we realize everything is happening for us and it's all so beautiful, and we have to embrace the chaos, embrace the obstacles, embrace the speed bumps, I think that's when the magic really starts happening. What are your thoughts, Liliana? How do you view it?
Well, first of all, I want to say that I'm so grateful for each of you that turn up every week to watch the show. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'm very, very grateful that we connect about 2.5 years ago, because there's no coincidence that it's been a gratitude and a journey throughout, having both of us connected in the same frequency, in the same physical time, because universal time is different. We're about 30,000 hours or 30,000 hours behind universal time or something like that. I haven't quite worked it out. So being grateful for me is the first part of each morning. As soon as I wake up, as soon as I open my eyes, the first thing I say is thank you. I am awake. I made it through the night, because you just don't know if you can make it through the night. And because I live on my own, I have so much to be grateful for every day. And before I start my day, I express my gratitude to the universe by staying silent. The reason I stay silent in gratitude is because I try to visualize my how it's going to be my day, and sometimes it doesn't go as you said how we want it to go, but of late it's been going really, really, really good, because I've changed a few habits in my routine, and one of those habits was be grateful and being present every day throughout the day. So, for example, when I'm caught up with too much of worry or of the work because it takes over, I just say, hold on a minute, I'm caught up in the matrix again. This is not who I am. So let me stop, breathe in, breathe out, and I stay in a state of meditation with my eyes open, expressing gratitude for my knowledge. My knowledge, my cosmic knowledge, it's there is no price tag on it, because everything that I have is being given to me for free, and I cannot just get it by without being grateful. Because when I'm grateful, I've noticed when I stop really to start to be grateful out loud, say, like, you guys call it what you want, I say Heavenly Father or Source or Universe. I am so grateful that you chose me to have this knowledge and be able to now have a podcast and spread it, a Q&A to spread it throughout the world, whoever is watching, and I can inspire people. I don't teach anyone. I'm just trying to inspire people, and being grateful for that leads me to more openness. So when I'm grateful and I'm present about my gratitude, I've noticed that new inspiration comes to my mind, like things that I never had before, um, like ideas and thoughts about how to create the next step, how to go about my life the next day or the next moment. And I noticed as well that throughout my day, I work with a building company that is helping me when I finish my new build. And every time I express gratitude to these guys, they seem to work like with more enthusiasm, with more proactivity, with more happiness. So I keep repeating myself. I mean, today I went to a site and I was just passing by to a bit of land that I've been looking for a long, long time. And I just saw this man and I thought, I know this guy. And I crossed the road to the other side, and there's the guy actually doing the work for me. And I said, I wonder who won this for a long time. And I was like so grateful because this guy that he works with me at the moment, I said to him, you know what, I'm so grateful for you because you are helping me with my new build and everything's going so smooth. I just stopped to say thank you because I recognize you on the other side of the road. And with that said, this is quite important because with that said, I said to the guy, you know, I'm looking for a bit of land around here, and I have my eye on this particular plot, and I did not know it was yours. And you know, the guy said, you know what? There is a plot. There's so much money on so agency, and just give them a ring and ask for this and so person. I was like, wow, just the act of gratitude and being grateful for that man in my life. It led me to a new lead, a potential new investment. I was like, wow, this stuff works. Just being grateful for the guy because I recognized him and I went to speak to him and said, you know what, I want to say thank you for everything you're doing for me because since he took over, everything started to go really well for me. And he said, I don't know what is wrong with people. They're just not grateful anymore. They just don't appreciate things anymore. They just think about money, about people. And I was like, you know what? For me, it's about who is in my journey. And from now on, if I develop sites around here, I definitely going to work with you because it's just like match my frequency. So I'm grateful for that guy because obviously the frequency is the same, and he's helping me to not just to do my new build, but now gave me a lead so I can find a little another plot of land to develop. And I was like, this stuff really works because in my mind every day I'm just grateful for everything. Uh, I had the most amazing 5 days for the past week. I'm sure everybody saw it, and I was so grateful. I didn't want to go, but my mentor reached out and said, "Oh, I want you here because we could do with your energy and we can change lives." And I was like, "Wow, I'm so grateful for that," you know. So I had the most amazing time, and everybody felt like I was this new person. I'm still the same person, but everybody gave me the feedback that I'm this new person. And I'm not a new person. I just understood who I am now, and I'm so grateful for this person. So, yeah, gratitude change things, and you just become so positive, so cheerful. And the thing is, you become contagious with people around you. They become so contagious with your energy because you are so grateful for everything. Like, this is how it works at the moment for me. So, I'm so grateful for each one of you. Thank you.
Yeah, you said a couple important things there, and it made me think that in all of the business kind of management things I've learned over the years in my own evolution, that they did like a survey and they found that most employees, it was something like 80% of employees would rather
Oops.
have recognition and gratitude shown towards them for a job well done than actually receive a bonus. Is a bonus, extra money, whatever. Is that great? Is that awesome? Yes. But at the end of the day, I think it was something like 80% of those people polled simply it was more important to them to feel the gratitude and the recognition than it was for a monetary reward. So I think it's something internal within us, definitely, that we all strive for and we often overlook. And it also made me think about, think about it when somebody compliments us. Most people,
Yeah.
when somebody compliments your outfit or your hair or anything like having to do with us materialistically or superficially, what is most people's reaction? Most people don't say, wow, thank you, and leave it at that. We're programmed to say, oh, I thank you, that's great, but it's a little too tight on me, or but I wish I would have gotten my hair cut a little bit different, or it's still a little too long. It's like we run, most people run from gratitude. We run from the idea of compliments and people being gracious to us, towards us. And it's something that I think's been programmed into us, that somehow we don't deserve it. Somehow we should find fault in the things that we should be grateful for. And I love what you were talking about, your routine, your daily gratitudes. And I do the same thing. You know, in the mornings, I do my meditation and I go through all the things I'm grateful for. At night before bed, I do the same thing and go through all those things I'm grateful for in my life, things that happen to me throughout the day. And really, what stemmed this whole discussion and topic today was, Liliana and I spoke last week briefly while she was out of town. She stopped because and took her time out of her day to give me a ring because my wife mentioned to her that I needed a pep talk. I wasn't in a real good headspace. And it happens to all of us, right? We all go up and down throughout the day, throughout the week, month, whatever it is. We're gonna hit patches of self-doubt. We're gonna hit patches of thinking, should I have done this or should I have done that? Or again, why are things not happening the way they're supposed to happening? To the extreme, to the point last night, and here's where I'll be vulnerable, I'm next week from tomorrow is my 43rd birthday, my 43rd trip around the sun. And I got to thinking last night, it's like, am I going through a midlife crisis? Am I
No,
experiencing what is known as a midlife crisis? Because I'm I've never walked the path of the path less traveled, or I've always walked the path less traveled. I've never walked the path of least resistance. I've never been one to do what's easy. Starting a business isn't easy. I've started 3 now over the past 12 years, and I never wanted that security of a 9 to 5 job. I wanted my freedom to do things on my terms, the way I wanted to do them. And, with that being said, I have no retirement. What my wife and I are entrepreneurs. We have no retirement. We have no nothing, to our names other than our businesses. And, it got me thinking. It's like, am I a failure? And I know the answer to all these, but these are thoughts that go through your mind. And it's like, am I having a midlife crisis? Am I a failure? Or why are things not happening for me the way I expect them to or I want them to? And I really, it can become overwhelming at times for us when we allow these thoughts to come into our mind. And at the end of the day, and I journaled about it this morning, at the end of the day, out of 43 years of my life experience, I have nothing tangible really to show. I have no great wealth, I have no retirement. I have nothing material that all the other people out there that preach success that they have, and they're flaunting it, this and that. I'm still working to get there. And at the end of the day, I started thinking, I've got 43 years of experiences. I've got 43 years of lessons that I have learned, and many still I have to learn, obviously, because if I was where I needed to be and wanted to be, then I would have figured out the lessons that are still holding me back, the obstacles that are standing in my way. So at the end of the day, I went back to a feeling of gratitude, a feeling of all of the experiences I've had, good and bad, all of the setbacks, all of the hardships that I've experienced have served a purpose. And I think when we can start to see the beauty in the chaos, when we can start to see them for what they are and not why they happened, but what the reason it happened, for what needs to change within us, that's where the evolution begins. That's where the magic happens. But we have to take the time to dive deep. We have to ask ourselves those tough questions that a lot of people are afraid to ask or don't even want to, because it's going to be a lot of work. But at the end of the day, it's the most rewarding, most fulfilling experience and work I've ever done. And I know Liliana can agree with me on that. How
I
about
agree.
the hard work,
I agree, but I want to add to that because most people quit when they're just about to break through. And most people don't understand the signs of the universe. So they like really hard, almost there, and then they say, "Do you know what? I have all this age. I just can't do it. I'm just gonna quit and I'm just gonna pack it up." That's why I called you last week because I was in a high vibe. I was in my short break. It was like less than 50 minutes to go to eat something and go to toilet and drink some water. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do any of this. I'm going to call Joey because he needs me more than I need to go to the toilet. I'm a superhuman now. I can hold this toilet break. I can hold without food. It is not a problem for me. What I can't do is leave my friend doubting of himself because he's just about to make his breakthrough in life. And there he comes. All these negative thoughts, because happen to everyone. This is a live show just to show you that we are no different. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I've got this and I've got that," but they don't tell you anything that going behind the scenes. They only show you a little win, which I actually approve to celebrate more of our little wins. But sometimes we don't celebrate enough our little wins. But when I understood, I said, "Joey, wait, because we've got lots of stuff coming up. Let me just develop myself over here because I've got this massive project ongoing, which I don't publicize because I've learned how to stay in silence with the universe. And the reason I'm doing this in silence, although it's controversial towards what I've learned in my property group, because they say you tell everyone what to do, but I'm doing the opposite. I tell no one what I'm doing. The reason is because I don't focus on the negative anymore, but there are souls that not yet healed, and they generally don't want to see you doing well. Do I focus on those souls? No, I don't. But what I try to do is I try to not to project not so much on the rich and not so much on the poor. I'm trying to balance myself really well now that I found out the formula, let's say it. I found the formula that's gonna make me break through. And saying that, my formula of gratitude, because when I was on a train to Cardiff to see my friend Dr. George and Dr. Alice, the doctors in Cardiff on the A&E, there was this download, like knowledge download, not a download of energy like normally I have on full moons, that my body gets weird. That is gone. This download was because I keep doing this every time, and people think I'm like putting out the Illuminati. This is the triangle, the Trinity triangle. That's nothing to do with the Illuminati, by the way. And I kept putting this all the time. With I keep doing this, transferring the light to my hands all the time because when I have the train journey and I have figured out some little secrets of how to manifest fast, I was like, wow, is this so? And immediately I said, wherever you are on my subconscious mind right now, thank you. And that was the first thing I said right away was thank you. I'm not gonna say to you what it was because some things comes to us when we're ready. Only when we're ready. And if you can tell people everything that like Einstein and Nikola Tesla, they didn't tell everyone everything in one go. They had to write their books and it takes them all these years for us to understand now what these books meant. So now, us, as the new Einsteins and the new Teslas, we have been given some cosmic knowledge so we can write down, perhaps in 20 years, to other people to read what we are about to write or to tell them, because every every step in a human journey, it's new. It's a new page. It's like what they've learned 20 years ago is to apply now. What we're learning now, it's maybe for the children to apply 20 years on. So when I was in this event and I started to write down everything that was came to my mind, because I have luckily I always take a book with me, and I've taken this book of Joseph Murphy, The Cosmic Power Within You. And I was reading that on the train because I don't have time to read that much, and I don't like reading very much. But in the train was kind of relaxing because there's two women talking a lot, and I put this on and I start reading. And then I had kind of a diary with me that I don't know how or why I took this diary with me, but for some reason it was empty with just a pen on it, and I started writing down all this cosmic knowledge. And it was all about triangles. It was about this knowledge about the past, the present, and future, the now, and all these sequences, all these sequences that I never thought about them. And I was like, this knowledge started to pop in my head, and I was like, oh. Oh wow! I was like, and I just even said thank you. So, and I knew this event is gonna be long, from 6 o'clock to almost midnight every day, and I was like, I'm gonna be pretty knackered because my energy is gonna be scattered everywhere. But you know what? I've put myself in a state of a superhuman. I can do this and then, and I say thank you every day. And the exercise that we had one exercise that we could not speak in the breakfast time, and it was so interesting because I'm always grateful for my food at home anyway. I always make grace to my food and to the people that prepare my food and the people that plant it on the field and people collect the food, the people deliver to the supermarket until it reaches my plate. But that event that I went to made me think even deeper than that. Like, I'm here with this food. I cannot talk to anybody. Let me just say thank you to the waiters. And I was like, forever doing this. It's like, um, every time I express the gratitude thought in my brain, even out loud or in silence, miracles happen. And each time or each day, I have a bit of information each day about how to do this, how to plan my life. Although I have a vision, because I was in state of gratitude most days, these downloads are kept coming. So if you guys not know yet how to tap into your power, I suggest you to start with the state of gratitude. Because I always say this phrase every time. Gratitude is a miracle, is a magnet for miracles, and it is. It is a magnet for miracles. I
Absolutely.
don't know if anybody
Yeah,
saying something on
it's we've got to be grateful for the things we want in life because that's giving the frequency of abundance. That's being happy with your place. If we're negative, if we're feeling negative, it's creating a negative vibe. If we're having those negative thoughts, it's creating more subconsciously negative thoughts. If we're in a constant state of gratitude, understanding things are happening for us the way they're supposed to happen, and not really judging them, that allows us to live in that higher frequency. When we go into that lower negative state, there's two outcomes from it. And Adam Duvall, he's got a couple great comments and then a question, and I'll lead into it here. His first comment is, feeling negative gives us the opportunity to work on ourselves. So, yes, I would agree.
Mhm.
Feeling negative, being in a negative state, serves two purposes and only two purposes. One, it's to experience that negative and to see it from outside yourself, to understand and try and learn what it is we need to work on. Why are we feeling this way? There's something deep down emotionally, there's something tied to this feeling that's causing us to act out or to believe these thoughts we're having, which is in turn creating the reality to play out for us. And it's typically not the reality we want to live in because it's a negative frequency. So I feel like the negative thoughts we have either play to certain, they always, sorry, they can only be interpreted two ways, but they always are there to help us learn and work on ourselves. It's one of those triggers that we speak about often. It's a trigger to help us understand that there's something wrong. But the opposite of harnessing a negative thought and not seeing the beauty behind it or trying to dive deeper into it is that we get stuck in those negative thoughts. It turns itself upside down on us. It takes us back to that identity of who we believe we are. And those negative thoughts start to create this false identity of what we think we are. Our past experiences and our thoughts are not who we are. That is simply our idea of who we are. So it's really, we get confused. We get stuck in those negative thoughts, which keep taking us down further and further and further, usually. Or we can step outside, take that 20,000-foot view, and really start to ask the tough questions again. Why am I feeling negative? What is hurting inside of me? Why am I sad? Why am I angry? Why am I agitated? Why am I frustrated? All these negative, why do I have self-doubt? All these negative thoughts we have are a lack of gratitude. They stem from a lack of gratitude, of not living in the present moment, being grateful for where we're at, what we've achieved, and why we've gotten to this point, and what the universe is trying to tell us. So, very good thought on that,
Thank you.
Adam. Do you have anything you want to say on that, Liliana? You want me to go on to the next one?
No, I mean the negative thoughts for me. There's no. I can't even play on the state of that anymore. I can't imagine to be negative because I live on my own. And the first thing I do in the morning, some days are so dark because it rains a lot in Cornwall, and I raise my vibe by just putting the music full blast and I just dance until I just get like enough now. I'm pretty okay with myself, so so and you know what? Just by being in that state, everywhere I go, I think the light is shining even brighter, and people now can see how much this person shift to a brand new person. I've always been positive anyway. I had a knock 4 years ago, and I just remember to be who I am now just by staying in the downs. So 4 years ago, I stayed in the downs, and I tried to, I don't know, recharge that person that was in the downs, and now that old version that I shared away and say I don't want to, thank you very much. It's becoming like a teenager again, like a child with no worry, no stress, no preoccupation. I just don't think about the negative. If I have, Adam, if I have a negative thought by any means, I just go back to the state of why am I having this thought? What is the reason I allow myself? The thoughts, everything is an illusion anyway. So I say there is no other option. Just stay grounded and be in the present moment, as you said, and say there is nothing that's going to change. It's my choice. Stay negative or positive. So I shift automatically to the positive. You might think it's easy. It wasn't easy before, but it's quite easy now. And if I see myself like, oh, I feel so lonely, I'm about to cry, I always reach out to somebody and try to help somebody that moment so my vibration shifts again.
That's a good technique there. I've over the years suffering from my own issues with mental illness, depression earlier on, anxiety, all of those, common themes that go along with that. I tend to dwell more, and I would tend to dwell more in that negative thought, just because it's kind of that self-loathing, that victim mentality, I guess, is what it is. And for whatever reason, the ego thinks that feels great. The ego's like, give me more of that. When in truth, that's the opposite of what we should be doing. And we need to step outside of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Adam, before we get to his question, he had one more good saying that he said, and it's a saying from Les Brown, who is obviously amazing and inspirational and speaks so much wisdom. But he says, Les said, if you feel and believe you are a failure, you will struggle to experience success. Spot on. I mean, our thoughts create our reality, and
I don't go to
our
that state anymore.
energy, our feelings, our emotion that we tie behind our thoughts is what creates and generates that frequency. If we are in a constant state of gratitude, of
Yeah, yeah,
childlike mindset, like you said, Liliana,
yeah,
you find yourself going back to that childlike state.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
think that's so important. As a child, we just we know nothing else. We know playfulness, we know happiness, we know joy, we know love. For the most part, we're born into this world without all these pre-programs. So we just are kind of in our purest form, purest state. And I think gratitude is a huge aspect that children have. They're just happy to be here. They're happy to be creating fortresses out of the couch
uh,
cushions and playing make believe. The floor's lava. They come up with all this creative games and imagination that they have. And I feel like children are so grateful that things come to them. They're able to create this reality because they do live in that constant state of grace, like you were talking about. So going back to that childlike mindset is so important for us. What do you want to say, Liliana?
yeah, I want to add to something like you said as a child, because I've noticed just recently that people see. how much brightness, so much spark. Because I've gone back to the child. I don't care the judgment, but I've noticed some negative, really people that are not happy with themselves. They try to use my good energy to bring me down, and they go like, "Oh, too much." Nothing is too much because it's like when you see a child so happy and you tell the child off to be herself and happy, and the child goes to the naughty room because the child is full of energy and explosive energy. And sometimes the mom and dad don't like that because the child is so happy and so content and so energetic. And they go like, go to your room now, it's too much now. And I've been taught this once this week. And I was like, the thing is doing double voice again. Your So I said to myself, do you know, if somebody says it's too much, it's because they want some of that. And when they want some of that, there's something wrong with them. So I don't criticize me anymore. I say, son, work on yourself. Go back to childhood because this is what I live now. And I don't go for judgment anymore. I just understand that person is uncomfortable with my happiness because it's triggering her nature. So when somebody is triggering your ways, it's because they haven't reached that point of childlike attitude. And instead of me being upset, I go like, okay, I'll take this on board. It happened actually in the event. It was actually somebody that I was not expecting to say, oh, too much energy. And I said, you know what? I like my new energy. I love it. But everybody else was fine with it. It was like, people can see when you go back to the childlike state, your energy never ends, your smile never ends, your presence is felt in a very deep and comfortable level, and everybody wants to be around you. And it's like, wow, it's amazing. Yeah, that's what I wanted to have.
So let's show now. Adam had a question for both of us. Said, when was
Okay,
the first time you heard the word gratitude, and what response did you give to the universe about this? Do you
okay.
want to start off on this one, Liliana? Go for it.
I, I can I can have it because since I was a little girl, I've always been grateful because I was raised with no father. Every single colleague of mine at school had a mom and dad, and me and my brother used to be laughed at. And you know what? I never let anyone make fun of me and my brother. In fact, I had so much masculine energy. I used to hit the kids who make fun of my brother. And I always been grateful that my mom done a role of mom and dad. And every time it's Father's Day, I celebrate Mother's Day to be Father's Day as well, all in one. Because I've always been grateful that at least I have one person to look after me. Because some children don't have anybody. They have neither mom or dad. At least I had my grandmother and my mother with me, and I've always, since I remember, been grateful for everything. I know my friends had, the opportunity to study in very good places, but guess what? I was being grateful, and the universe made it possible for me to go to the college where the rich kids were studying. And even today, I said to my mom, "How do you manage to do that?" And she said, "Oh well, we were poor, and we just been given the opportunity to you and your brother to go there." And I was like, "Wow!" So I met pretty awesome friends that are, graduated in school, university, and I was like, no close to that graduation, but in life, I graduated very well because I've been always surrounded with very smart people, and that is a gratitude itself. And all my friends are so clever; they are doctors, psychologists, you name it, because I've always been grateful. So since I remember, since I was a child, I've always been grateful. Thank you, Adam. Lovely question.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great one, and for me, I've always known the idea of gratitude. I've always, obviously grown up being told to be grateful. Did it really ever sink in until more recently? I think no. It's one of those. I never put much thought into it. And I don't think we're taught typically. You know, some families are different, but I feel like, at least growing up for me, it wasn't something we discussed, and it was something that was taught to me necessarily. And it wasn't probably until around 2015, 2014 when I started kind of diving into the self development, uh, side of things, and really starting to go down that path of improving myself, where I first started to understand the concept of gratitude. And understanding it and practicing it are by no means the same thing. Um, while I started understanding it, I started incorporating certain aspects of it probably over the next few years. I bet it wasn't until 2018, 2019 that it really started to sink in for me. You know, and when I started practicing conscious gratitude, consciously being aware of the amazing things in my life, little and small, even the bad things in my life, when I really started healing and going back and revisiting those traumas and things that have created the perception of identity I have, that's when gratitude really started to kick in for me. That's when I started to really find the power and see the power of being grateful. But it wasn't until I started to kind of, again, take myself outside of myself, become self aware is one of the keys. And really just allowing the universe, understanding, I guess, that the universe is always working for us. I didn't want
Uh-huh.
to believe that for so long. I fought that. I just didn't. I didn't see how it worked. I couldn't align the dots for me. All the different things that have happened to me in my life. It's like that again, that victim mentality. And it wasn't until I really started to dive into this daily activity of gratitude, and to my first real mentor and coach. He said every day, every morning, he would wake up, and for 15 minutes every morning, he would literally walk around his condo and basically look at every single thing he saw and tell himself how grateful he was for the coffee maker, and that he could just have a cup of coffee anytime he wants by just popping the little cup in and hitting the button. And he's like, man, the sink, I'm so grateful that I have running water, that I live in a country that I can just turn this knob and the water comes on. It's like, oh my gosh, the carpet, I'm so grateful I'm walking on this soft carpet and I'm not barefoot out in the woods. Or it's just, we think gratitude is some elaborate you know thing that we have to do. And at the end of the day, it's just being grateful for everything. I'm grateful for these amazing lights I have right here that are illuminating my face so that everybody can see me better. I'm grateful for the technology of this computer so that both of us can share our experiences, our voice around the world instantly. I'm grateful for the people watching this. I'm grateful for the pen and paper I have to take notes so I don't have to remember everything that you say, Liliana, and then respond to it. I can literally write it down and not interrupt you and allow you to finish your thought. And I think that's what we're not taught enough of growing up, and even all through life, is how to truly be grateful for everything, including the tiniest little thing, not just, oh, thank you for my job, thank you for my family, thank you for this wonderful world, my house, whatever. Those are huge things, but break it down to something so simple. Be grateful that you can get a cup of coffee in the morning, because there's so many people around the world that literally can't have a cup of coffee whenever they want to have a cup of coffee. Does that make sense, Liliana?
A lot of sense. It's funny that you touch on that because every day when I wake up, I go through everything that I'm grateful for. And I remember in 2019 when my business was kind of stopped because I'm a small business, and this project was the one who's going to kick everything for me, like make it or break it. And by now, I could have quit and just be bankrupt. This is the honest truth. But this voice came into my head because I've always been so grateful. And this voice said, honestly, clear and loud in my head, you have nothing to fear, nothing to worry about because you are always going to be provided. And you know what? I stood and stuck thin and thick to that promise. I don't know who the voice was, where it came from, but I knew that was divine guidance and protection. I just stood up and said, thank you. Wherever you are, I'm saying this in my mind because it was my higher self maybe talking to me. I said, I believe it. I'm going to stick thin and thick through this. And you know what, guys? I've always been provided. Always, with even the days in the week that there was no job, there was no work, there was nothing ongoing. And there's an echo in the background when I speak. So, because I stick to this promise of gratitude, I was like, wow, I'm going to be provided. And I was provided until today. And then the opportunities start to come and the businesses start to kick in again. And I met great people around here that give me opportunity to work in the holiday resorts. And I've got a steady income coming and I'm creating more stuff. And to be honest with you, as we become one in conscience, you start to align with the people that have the same mindset as you and the same gratitude, and I felt like my mentor in my property group, he felt grateful for me because I used to publicize a lot about his business, and he understood that when I decided to step down a little bit, that I was not posting as much, and I know because I can read people now. He felt that lack of he was missing me. He never gonna say that to me, but I'm speaking life because I know maybe he's gonna watch this, who knows? And I know he was grateful for me to be there and have all these posts this week with his name on and promoting his business and that is just a state of gratitude that he came from as well. So when we align and we're grateful, then you kind of deep into the other person's mind. And guess what? Whatever is your goal and your vision becomes the other person who interacts with gratitude's golden vision. And I feel very aligned with these golden visions now because what he's doing, what he's building, it's really aligned with what I'm doing and what I'm about to just to do and to create. And it's so rewarding that you don't talk about these things, but you can really see them and they are just there because you come from a state of gratitude. So this is just a prime example. What, for example, when I attend this event and I understood that I was there for a reason, and his vision was my vision. In fact, I even drew it on a big paper, and I could see his eyes glowing, like saying, "Wow, she's got the vision." And the the network is making echo. It's making it difficult for me to speak. I'm speaking on top of my voice.
Weird. You
Sorry.
sound good on my end, but sorry.
Okay. Okay, that's fine. So yeah, I when I understood that this vision is my vision, and one mind become or two minds become one mind, not because it came from a state of gratitude, because I've attended the event, I was happy to be there. I had a lot of contagious energy that I brought just by being present in there, and it was great. And I came home all the way expressing gratitude because if I didn't go, I was not grateful enough for the invite. So, in a way, although I had this paid for 3 years ago, I said, do you know what? He really wants me there. I'm going to be grateful. I'm just going to go. And I went and I had the most amazing time of my life because I stepped into this state of gratitude that he reached out to me and say, he didn't say it like that in these words, but I felt like if I was there, he would be very grateful. And then he thanked me for my energy. So again, he came from a state of gratitude of thanking me for being there. He's the coach, he's the mentor. He doesn't have to thank anything. He's there to um, develop me as a better person. And I felt so grateful for him. I said, I'm so proud. I know he's my mentor. I know he's my coach, but I felt so proud of him. I came from a state of gratitude again. just watching all these things. This is just this week how it's been. I've been in a state of gratitude the whole week, and I still, and I am, and I will be. And when I stay in this state, I tell you guys, the opportunities that I encounter now every day, they are just so amazing. It's like one after the other, and I was like, oh, so I was probably not grateful enough. I was aware of the gratitude, but I was not verbalizing as much. Now that every day I verbalize it, every day and every in much in much more scale, and it's like more times in a day. I feel like I meet more opportunity, more um, synchronicities that's gonna lead me to do whatever I'm set to do. So if that makes sense.
Yeah. Before we got about 9 minutes left or so for we're done for the day. And I wanted to kind of go back, readdress, you mentioned earlier the idea we're caught in this matrix, we're caught in this illusion. And, for me, it came out even more yesterday. I was having a discussion with my wife and with her business, with our business that we own together. We're at the point where we need to pivot it. And, we've been doing this for 8 years, and now we're having to pivot again into what we believe at this point will be the thing we've been waiting for, the thing we've been trying to build all along. And we're finally at that point where, we see that what we were doing before wasn't working. So we need to make a pivot, right? And it's so hard for us living in the illusion, this matrix, to see the good behind the struggle, right? The idea that we've done this for 8 years and we just keep struggling, not struggling, we're not bad off,
Must
but
not
it's like,
manifest.
why is this not, why are we not experiencing this abundance? Because we're doing all the right steps that we believe, that we have been taught, and it's not happening. And why do we keep having these obstacles? What purpose are they there for? And I told her, I said, this is all happening the way it has to happen in order for us to truly appreciate the accomplishment, to truly appreciate where we're going to end up at the end of the
Just gonna
day. But if we don't experience this struggle, if we don't experience these obstacles, these hardships, it wouldn't be as fulfilling when we finally reach that goal, when we finally reach the spot we want to be at. We can look back, and it pertains to many things, our life with our children, with our businesses, all of this. It's like we have to accept that we have to go through these struggles, these obstacles, in order to
level
truly
up.
have gratitude at the end of the day, at the end of that specific journey, to look back and say, man, it was all freaking worth it. It was worth so much of that struggle. But, it's hard. Why do you think it's hard for people to see the beauty in the chaos, to understand that the obstacles serve us? What kind of
I,
closing thoughts do you have on that?
I don't use those words anymore in my vocabulary. I teach them, all of them. You just mentioned about 5 words that I don't use anymore. I say when you are in this state, you're just about to level up, and we just can't see it. Most people, when they're in that state, they're about to level up, and instead of waiting to universe to deliver, they go again with the same wording. Words are powerful, so they create more of it. So I don't use them anymore. When I think about, well, oh, this is kind of hard because I don't want to talk about it. I go like, actually, it's not that hard because the universe is just about to deliver, so I don't have to manifest how hard it's been. So if it has been hard, it was to shape me, make me, because I was just break. I broke all these limited beliefs. I don't use those words anymore in my vocabulary. Even if they come out of my brain, I just go like on my hologram, I just wipe them out. I just put you like this. I just done this to you actually. So I was like putting my energy together so you could stop talking about these words. And I was like, we are reality creators. We cannot manifest what we're feeling. because that gives im- immediately brain cells to produce some more of it. So I don't go to that zone. And people say, but don't you ever struggle? They say, yes, but I don't live there anymore. I don't live there. So even if I say yes, because it's not possible now, remember, we're not real. Why should I use these words if they're only words? And universal language is your only secret geometry and numbers. So I don't use them. I just put down some shapes, some numbers, and I say, I'm going in this direction. Look at me, guys. Look at me, Joey. So you go like this, what most people call the up and down. I don't use the word, so I just go. Zzz. I'm on a straight line on the road to achievement. And then instead of putting the straight line, then I raise my vibration and go up the line. I just put a line up. I'm on my way up. That's the reason why I'm going on that state. So the universe is always there to test you every single time. One little word sets you right back to the very beginning. And I say this many times, and I keep saying many times. So instead of thinking low frequency, I rise my vibration. Said, yeah, it was kind of hard, but I don't live there anymore. I step up. So as you see this shift in your brain happening, your it it doesn't absorb the lack anymore. It goes to the state of the abundance. So I just say, thank you. I'm about to receive now. Thank you. And I just express gratitude because deep in my heart, there is so many things that I'm about to receive. And I am about to receive those things because I just can feel them like
Right,
little
right.
things that I work towards because I take some action and work on them. And every time there is a doubt, I say, you can go because I'm not there. The doubt, I ask the doubt to go completely straight away. I say, you can go because I am about to receive. Thank you. I'm ready for receivership. And I stay in that state. Honestly, I stay in that state. I'm not joking. If you talked to me a month ago in the podcast, maybe I was, oh, yeah, yeah. Now, there are words that I just don't use in my vocabulary no more. I start to write down what I should shift out of my vocabulary every day. And then I start to apply in my life. So whoever is watching this, remember, words are non existent. So as in a physical vessel, if we manifest them, we're gonna have more of that. So I just write down in shapes and instead of go to straight lines or zigzag, I go up and up and up like I'm on top of the mountain. And this is what I see myself on the top of the universe, watching myself, the higher self, saying, oh, there she is, down there in Earth. She's trying to create something, but she's not sure. Now, I imagine myself on the top of the universe on my higher version and say, hey, give me a hand here on my highest version so I can create that, what I've got in my mind. And it feels good. It feels like I'm doing it. It feels like I'm already there. The vision, me, it's just I see myself in that state, if that makes sense. I don't know who's watching, but if that makes sense to you guys,
Yeah, yeah,
try to apply.
absolutely. That's, I mean, that's great. That's a powerful message, really, and a
I
great
feel
exercise that you just gave everybody is, making, write down and make a list of all of those
yeah,
negative beliefs, all of the words that you said you no longer use in your vocabulary. Get those words out of your
yep,
vocabulary, remove them from your conscious thought, and
yep,
in turn, you can begin to start living in a state of constant gratitude, of no longer allowing or accepting these negative thoughts to come in. Just allow yourself to be in that constant state of gratitude.
yep,
It's all, I've heard it said often, breakthrough is just, on the other side of the
uh-huh,
pain and the discomfort we perceive to be going through. But when we remember that that pain and discomfort is there for a purpose, we have to see the gratitude and the love and the appreciation in that pain and that discomfort, because that's how we evolve. That's how we grow. That's how we push through and persevere to become the next greater version of ourselves. So
And
that wraps it up
laugh
today.
about laugh about all the stupid things that you used to say yourself. That's what I do. Every time I look at me, my old version, I just laugh at the stupidity. Like I used to manifest sickness all the time. Like, oh, my pain, and my neck hurts, and I'm so grateful that I have a neck. To be honest, because it used to hurt, and I say, stupid. Now I laugh, but I used to manifest so much pain, and I was like, what's that about? I don't have headaches. I don't have pain in my neck anymore. Why? Because I don't manifest it. So I'm grateful that I have an intact neck that is attached to my head to make me think better. So,
Well said.
yeah,
Well said. That's a great way to finish off the show today. I want to thank everybody that watched today. We had Richard join in at the end, Adam, Duvall, so many great messages and comments and some questions. We had Tina. Let's see. We had Tina
oh, hi, darling.
Briggs. Uh,
Love you. Oh,
let's
Tina, hello.
Yeah, Tina Harvey was here. Thomas
She's a gem
Lingard
girl.
showed up. We had Tina Michelle Briggs. She was here.
Hi, darling. I love you as well. She
Gun,
sells gems, guys. Go.
Christine Fritz was here. Yeah, we had quite a few. If I missed your name, there were plenty of others that tuned in, but we appreciate you. We love you for joining in each week. I do want to let you guys know the Reality Practice Network and myself, I just started a partnership working with, we're going to be working moving forward with Adam Duvall and his wife, Carrie, I think it is. And he runs the Mental Health Warriors Network. And I'm going to be doing a show here starting in a couple weeks on mental health awareness, and everything.
Well
So
done, guys.
definitely stay tuned for that. Going to have some amazing, awesome content coming out for those struggling with or looking for answers to mental health. Adam and his network is a huge and valuable platform out there. So definitely check him out. He's in the comments. So reach out to him directly if you have questions, want to find out how you can work with the mental health warriors, or just tune in and watch what they're putting out. So
Amazing,
other
guys.
than that, guys, we've got the summer solstice starting today. Today is the longest day of the year, the most amount of sunlight coming in, the least amount of darkness. So today is going to be a transformative and amazing day. We are stepping into our true power. It's coming to fruition. Yeah. Embrace it. Go with it. Be grateful. Love yourself. Love where you're at, because you're exactly where you're supposed to be. Liliana, anything last words?
No, guys, every time you go to the state of and gratitude, just remember how precious you are to be here, to chosen to be here. You chose. You chose. You cannot be ungrateful for your choice. Because if you are, you have to come back again and do it all over again.
Right. Yeah, at the end of the day, remember, we signed the contract for the experiences we're having. So we just have to accept that, embrace it, and look for the ways to learn from it. So, until next time, everybody, thanks for watching. And remember to ask yourself, what reality are you choosing to create today? Bye now.
Thanks, Liana. Bye.
Love you.
Thank you, Joe. Nice to see you, man. Love you too. Bye-bye.